Hey man, just giving you a quick call. I just wanted to let you know that you are so close, dude. You're so much closer than you think. A lot of these big goals that we've had and these big aspirations, they're right around the corner for you, dude. So you just cannot give up. So stoked for you to see this. P.S. We bought a Lambo. So keep going, bro. We'll talk soon. Peace.
Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Bryson. This is the Bryson Everyday Project podcast. This podcast is a little bit different than other ones out there. Here, I only focus on documentation. I don't focus on quality or being professional or being entertaining. If that sounds like something you're interested in, I'd love for you to stick around and give the show a listen. You can also follow me on Instagram at BRQUSE. Thank you so much. Here's the show. All right, this is going to be a quick one if I had to guess because Lexi's on her way. Well, she hasn't left yet, but whenever she does, it'll be about 15 minutes. So I'm gonna try to limit this to 10 minutes if I can. We'll see how well I do. But anyway, so I was laying in bed last night. So, okay, real quick. My phone is blocked almost all hours of the day except 12 to 3 and from 9 to 10. Reason for that is because 12 to 3 seems to be when I take a break and I go to the gym and I kind of just hang out. And then 9 to 10 is when I do the podcast and also kind of like getting ready for bed. It's, just kind of allow myself that. So the only things that are on my phone that are allowed for me to click on are pretty much, ChatGPT, Notion, all things financial, all things education. And that's it. So I was laying in bed last night and it's kind of cool because it forces me to, if I want to be on my phone, I'm going to be in one of those categories. So I'm looking at my financials. And I look at the amounts, cross-reference to my spreadsheet that I have, and I'm like, looks like I under-budgeted, so now we have a lot extra, so why don't we pay some shit off? So I ran some hypotheticals, and I paid off 2 credit cards last night, which is pretty cool. Now, it wasn't a shit ton of money, like 10 grand or 20 grand worth of credit card debt, but it was, I think it was like 2 grand total, and one had $300 on it, the other one had like 1,300, something like that. And it was just nice to just see those some bitches go down to zero. Now, technically they're not zero because it's Sunday and shit doesn't happen on Sundays, but it is, they were paid off and it feels great. So now I have, I think 2 credit cards left. Let's double check. Fuck Apple when you put your mouse at the bottom of the screen and the little toolbar pops up. Fuck that, dude. Let's just make that never happen. If it's on one screen, let's leave it at that screen. God damn. I'm out of breath because I just ran up the stairs. But so I've got 3 credit cards left. So I've got a total of 7,000 left. One of those credit cards is 5,000. So I'm going to get the next 2 pretty quickly. And then I'm actually going to put the other money into the loan that I have because that total will free up about $300 a month between the loan and the 2 credit cards, which is pretty cool. And then we've got the $5,000 credit card, which is the payment on that is $50 a month. So as far as weighing down the monthly expenses go, it's just not crazy. It's $50 a month, so. But anyway, so yeah, I did that last night. So that's a really good feeling because I'm getting closer and closer to the debt-free thing. And I say debt-free with the caveat that I just bought a new car and that's obviously putting me down quite a bit. So getting closer and closer to debt-free. And it is crazy to think that, 1 month of 8 sales would allow me to get 100% out of debt, like not owe anything and probably finally have a positive net worth. So how crazy is it to think that, what's the average American's net worth? What is that again? Isn't it negative? What is the average American's net worth? Let's see. What does ChatGPT tell me today? Average mean household net worth is around 1.6 million, largely skewed by high wealth households. I just disagree because so many people are in debt. So average net worth. Does this account for being in debt to things? Okay, well, I guess this calculation does. I mean, that's what net worth means. So I don't know why it wouldn't, but it just seems, It says your average net worth under 35 is 183,000. No, I'm not. The fuck do I have that's worth $183,000? I don't think it's correct. $183,000 is a net worth. How the hell is 183K? Oops, 183K net worth calculated. Cash in checking and savings accounts, stock, bonds, mutual funds, retirement accounts. Oh, I guess if you're accounting for all that horse shit. Real estate, home value, rental properties, vehicles, businesses or other investments, personal property, jewelry, collectibles, mortgage, student loans, liabilities subtracted. Oh yeah, mortgage balances, student loans, car loans, credit card debt, personal loans. A few people in this age range have inherited millions, own companies, or have high value investments. When the average is calculated, those outliers push the number way up. The median net worth is for under 35. The median net worth for under 35 is only 39,000, which is much closer to what most have after debt. Okay, there we go. Yeah, that's a little bit, I would say that's more accurate, because if I were to calculate all my, dude, I don't know. It seems a little, maybe I'm just doing life wrong. I don't know. Probably am. I'm doing life wrong to the traditional way of living and the system that has been provided for me since I was in kindergarten. So I'm fucking that system up, but I'm doing very well elsewhere. But anyway, so getting closer to the debt free, which is cool. And truthfully speaking, I don't necessarily care about the debt as much as I do about the monthly revenue, income, profit, whatever you want to call it. Because if I have $1 million in debt, but it only costs me $20 a month, I couldn't give a fuck, bro. If that's at face value what it is, $1 million in debt, and there's a certain percentage rate, whatever, I don't give a shit. If it costs me $20 a month, the most I'll ever pay per year is $240. So in 10 years, it's $2,400. In 100 years, it's $24,000. Dude, I'm all good. I'm not going to notice $20 a month. And I feel like most people can say that. I feel like I'm always careful when I'm talking about money and amounts and shit. I don't want to come off like an arrogant asshole. Like, of course I want $20. I'll take it. Like, if somebody said, hey, you want this $20 bill? I would probably never say no. Like, give that money to me. But I think the point I'm trying to make is I don't necessarily care about the debt as long as I'm not fucked by paying it. So that sounds horrible. Nobody take that out of context. What I'm saying is, if I'm personally in $1 million worth of debt, but my monthly payment to that debt is $20, there's no incentive for me to get out of that debt. So I'm just going to leave it there. And that's my personal belief on my own shit. And I'm going to leave it there. So I'm just going to find this in 20 years and be like, see, he doesn't care about the national debt crisis. See, he says if it doesn't affect him, then. So anyway. So yeah, I paid off the credit cards. That's a good feeling. And I, ran some more hypotheticals on when I could pay off more. So it looks like in 10 days, I can put down another $1,000 on one credit card, because that's pretty close to what I owe. And then the end of this month on the 27th, so that would be 24 days, because today is August 3rd, I'd be able to put down about $3,000 on some more and get further out of debt. So that hopefully will pay off the loan and one credit card. And then next month, September, I'm going to play it a little bit more conservative next month, because October, which is 2 months from now, I'm moving in with Lexi, and I just want to make sure that, our first month is accounted for and that there's no stress there. Because the shitty thing for me is that my lease doesn't end until the end of October. Lexi's ends the end of September. So it lines up perfectly for her, but not for me. So kind of shitty. So that means I'm going to have to pay for 2 months of rent, one for a place that I'm not even going to be living at. So it sucks, but what do you do? I've tried a little bit to have them shorten it by a month, but there's nothing they can do. I mean, there is everything they can do. It's just very simple. Just say, oh, you're out, change some shit in the system, and we're done. But maybe I'll call them and ask them again. Worst they could say is no. But yeah, it's pretty shitty. So I'm going to have to pay 2 months worth of rent. And so I think I just need to save for that. I guess just make sure that is accounted for. Right now it is. I've budgeted it, and I would still have $2,000 after. So I guess looking at these numbers, I will be able to pay off all my credit cards except that $5,000 one, and I'll be able to pay off all loans. And that's pretty sweet. That's pretty exciting, because when all is said and done, and we'll say that my rent goes down, and then we'll say that groceries will stay the same. We'll say the gas stays the same. Insurance stays the same, obviously. Okay, so that's going to say my electricity is probably going to be a lot higher because I pay for my car now. Student loan, Notion, groceries. Car loan is going to be 0. Credit card 0, credit card 0. So when all that's said and done, I'm going to be at $3,300 of expenses per month, which is not bad. So currently what I'm at is $3,900. So it's going to go down about $600. But I also lose the pay from my job at Hill Air Force Base. It's going to be weird to go into October. It'll actually be October 8th when I get my last check. I think technically my last check will be October 22nd, but it'll be a very small one because there are days in September that I worked that will not be paid out until the 22nd. But I'll get a full paycheck on the 8th of October. So it's going to be weird walking into October and just not having anything to do with Hill Air Force Base anymore. I'm not going to be able to go to the gym. Not going to be able to do anything up there, which kind of sucks. So I like the gym, but all good. So, it's been a part of my identity a little bit, my job, how I make my money for the last 2 years. So it's going to be weird to have that go bye, even though I'm not doing it anymore. Still go up there and I still use the gym and use the track and stuff like that. But anyway, what was I saying before that? I don't know. Anyway, I'm just really stoked about all this. It's going to free up a lot of income, paying all this stuff off. And it's so funny. It's actually boosted my credit score just paying shit off. And I actually have that blocked on my phone. So I'll have to go in there and change it. It's cool because when I have these quote breaks, I'm still on Bloom. So my phone is still blocked. So I can't edit schedules or edit anything. If I want to do anything, I have to physically take my phone to the card and unlock it. And just the small, simple act of doing that, it's like, I don't really care that much actually. So it's fine. And I just think it's just so great. What an improvement I've seen in my life in the last 3 days, 4 days, whatever. So that alarm clock, the unbed thing, it'll get here tomorrow. We'll see how that goes. But anyway, I was looking at my credit score, and I just think it's so funny, dude. Just how, I actually need to unblock this, so hold on. Let's see, so I need to come over here. Actually, I can just pause it for 5 minutes. I gave myself 2 breaks in this schedule, so I'll just pause for a sec, go into Credit Karma. I don't give a shit about this stuff. I'll tell you everything you need to know. I don't think it should be private. It's ironic that my credit score could be shit, but I could be a millionaire, and those two things could exist at the same time. So my credit score went from. So it looks like in May, it was 616, and now 3 months later, it is 680. So I just paid off 2 more things. So if I had to guess, maybe it'll go up to 700. I don't know. And then I think when I pay off the loan as well, that will. I don't know. I don't know. I don't really care either way. But for the purpose of documentation, there you go. Episode 157, I think it was, is when I shared every detail about my life. And the thought process was to do that, every 3 or 6 months. But it was over a year ago. And that was over a year and a half. Hiccups right now, dude. That was over a year and a half ago. I feel like I need to do that again. Huh. Well, anyway, I feel like I'm distracted as fuck right now. I feel like I'm just kind of under pressure because I'm trying to hurry and do this before Lexi gets here. But anyway, so Trey wanted a client check-in tracker. First of all, I just want to share the communication here. Okay, so He says, actually, can you add a client check-in tab on Notion with clients instead of Google Sheet? You will notice that I made a filter for all Brandon's clients. Could you add in a simple checkbox with check-in yes or no, week 1, 2, 3, etc., like the Google Sheet, so it's all in one space, and one for Mariah as well? So that's what he said. And I said, yeah, so you're just wanting a basic check-in system? Yes or no, did the client check in? Because I've actually got a badass system in place for that, and it's just 3 buttons the coach needs to click. I can pause the other stuff I'm working on and get that going if you prefer. A much, much smaller project. He says, yeah, we just need something simple. Yeah, we just need something simple to track that for weekly meetings. If you already have something drawn up, that'd be great. And I said, yeah, man, I can get on that. Wait, so is this for client check-ins or employee meetings? He says, it will be for client check-ins. Where did meetings come from? Yeah, we just need something simple to track that for weekly meetings. If you already have something drawn up, that'd be great. Only thing I can think of is that he says it would be something simple to track that for weekly meetings, meaning we're going to go over that in weekly meetings. That's when he said, hey, Bryce, coming in this month, I'm going to be putting money into ads, blah, blah, cutting your hours. You're a piece of shit. Fuck you. And I said, got it. But then he says, yeah, this coming week, 10 hours, but subject to change. The biggest thing I need done is that client check-in. Did we get anywhere with that yesterday? I said, we can keep it at 10 moving forward, man. Believe it or not, it benefits me quite a bit. And if you'd rather get some more ads going, then it's a win-win. And I said, yes, we did. I'll probably work on it through the weekend so it's ready by Monday for a fresh start of the week. He says, okay, just keep me posted. And I said, you got it, man. And then I said, this check-in system is awesome. Do it 3 buttons, on time, late, missed each. And I just talked about it. And he said sick with 3 Ks. And the reason why I share all of that is because that's how he communicates to me. Again, not horrible, but like, where the fuck did meetings come from? Anyway. And he wants something simple. That doesn't mean it's simple to build. And I think that is one of the most frustrating things is that, yes, all we need to do is click a button that says, did they check in or did they not? And then it tracks it. And that's simple. And you can do that with a checkbox. Matter of fact, you could call it done. Put a checkbox and then did they check in, yes or no, click or not click. And that's it. But when you put in all the extra stuff in the back end that I have, it has now taken probably 10 hours. And it's quite a project. It's small for sure in comparison to the other thing. But I've been working on it nonstop. And I would say it's very, very near completion. There is just, when I make things that are a bigger project, like for example, in case this means anything to anybody, this thing has almost 200 properties. I would say almost every Notion template out there has max 8, 10. This has almost 200. And the second database will have about 150. So a total of 350 properties where most templates out there that people sell and stuff like that, they are, like I said, 10, 20, 30 at the max. But the thing with making something that's bigger, I would say, is that there's so much polishing off that goes into it because if there's so much data, there needs to be a way to showcase that data. And there needs to be a way to make it easy to view and I guess visually appealing, because there's nothing nice about looking at 200 columns, seeing percentages and different emojis. So I have to polish it up and sculpt it and present it in a way that is appealing and that makes sense and that is accurate. And the only way to make sure that it's accurate is to run shitload of tests on it, change the dates, throw out different hypothetical examples and blah, blah, blah. And so he wanted that to be started or completed. I think it just started on Friday. And then I said I'd work on it through the weekend, hopefully to get it done by Monday for a fresh start. And it's absolutely not going to be done by tomorrow because Lexi's on her way now. And so it's date night now because we just had to switch our schedule around. So it's date night tonight. And then, so yeah, there's not going to be work done after. Yeah, there's no more work that's going to be done for the rest of the night. So tomorrow morning, I'll probably wake up, do my thing. work on it, but it's not going to be done tomorrow. So I'm going to let him know that, see what he says, and then go from there. But yeah, I just worked on that all day. Mina, so I actually texted, I don't know if I talked about this yet. I texted Mina and I said, hey man, Trey cut my hours from 28 to 20 to now 10 per week. I don't think there's any foul play here, just how business goes. Any chance you want or need 10 more hours per week? I know it's a big ask. He says, hey my dude, I can definitely take on another 5 hours from now, especially while we transition and such. And then he said, this is why packages is greater than hourly, with the, the alligator mouth. Essentially saying, hey, don't be a CEO, sell the shit in full. And it's funny because it's like, dude, I know it's fun. It's ironic because he's paying me hourly, right? So he's a great guy, but I was like, yeah, dude, I fucking know, but yeah. So he did say, yeah, I can definitely take on another 5 hours from now, especially while we transition and such. So that's cool. I don't know if I'm going to take him up on that 100% because, for example, today it was just like I was working on this check-in thing so much that, again, it's one of those things I feel like it's fine because this is going to be given to Mina. Like Mina gets this 100%. And since we are transitioning, it's going to be very beneficial to have this done before all the clients are implemented in. So very beneficial, I think, for both parties. So, yeah, feel good about that. So we got a little bit more money coming from Mina for the next little bit. I'm probably just going to say 2 weeks maybe. But we'll see. I'll talk about it with him on Wednesday. And then we'll go from there. But, yeah. I don't know if I talked about that. I can't remember if I did. But I think that's it. So, yeah, that's pretty much my day today. Just working on this. I don't know. I think that's it. I don't think there's anything else I want to say. I was going to say that I came across, like, I guess I watch more car reels on Instagram, and I was scrolling, and I there's just so much shit on Tesla, and I think it's weird. I think it's weird, dude. It's kind of like the whole LeBron Jordan thing. Like, people just care a lot about weird things. It's not that it's weird. It's just like there's so much energy placed into this I was going to say opinion, but there's so much energy and thought and backing of a stance on something that just doesn't matter. And it's so weird to me, like I think the whole LeBron Jordan thing is I don't know. Like for me, it's like I never saw Jordan play. I'm sure he was a great player, and there's a reason why they call him number one. I've seen LeBron play, and he's still playing. Longevity is huge. Fucking greatest player of all time. I'm gonna leave it at that. If I'm wrong, dude, fuck. If I'm right, dude, fuck. So I'll leave it there. So I think that's just comparable to what I'm seeing with people just shitting on Teslas because it's like, oh, it's not a real car. It's, every car guy. I'm like, okay, well, this clearly doesn't apply to me. I'm not a car guy. I never claimed to be. If you listen to the show, you'll know that. So immediately I just kind of filter that out. That's exactly what I'm talking about, dude. It's been the most helpful thing. It's just filtering out shit that I know that doesn't apply to me. But, yeah, I get more and more of those things. It's like, I don't give a fuck, bro. And it's funny. I talked about this the other day about, saying that you don't give a fuck. It's like you kind of do because you feel the need to have other people know that you don't give a fuck. Otherwise you wouldn't say it, which then implies that you do care because you wouldn't say it if you didn't. But, yeah, I've been noticing that's popping up more. And I'm just like, dude, what's going on? Tesla's fucking sick, dude. I'm a big fan. It begins and ends there. All right. That's all. That's all I got. That's all I got. Lexi's on her way. Let's see how long she is away right now. Yeah, I gotta go. All right. Love you guys. Peace.